We're live.
Right.
Yeah. Thank
Hello,
you
everybody.
to anyone tuning in. My name is Andrew from Rowless Wellness, and this is Lucie.
From
Um,
Charleston Lake Apothecary.
and
We're
today, sorry,
Go ahead.
today we're going to be talking about headaches.
I
Um,
have one now. Sorry. Yeah.
we'll be
It's
talking
very
about, yeah,
common though.
it is. It's in almost every remedy out there. So,
True. True.
and a
So
lot
we
of,
can't talk about like thousands and thousands of remedies. Like this one has probably a few thousand.
mhm.
And you're right. They're covered almost in almost every remedy. So we're only picking a few.
Well, a headache, in all honesty, is pain in any region of the head. Headaches may occur in one or both sides of the head, be isolated to a certain location, radiate across the head from one point, or have a versatile like quality. A headache may appear in a sharp pain, a throbbing sensation, or a dull ache. So basically, any pain in the head is what's a definition of a headache.
And who gives that definition?
This is Hopkins, John Hopkins University.
Oh, okay, cool. That is very bland, isn't it? But I think the whole point about headaches is they can be very innocuous, as in very small and minor, and they can grow into huge migraines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with remedies, because there's so many remedies, the symptoms of the headache are really important in order to choose the right remedy, and it goes the full spectrum of mild all the way to severe migraines. When you choose a remedy, like you have to decide um, what kind of symptoms that you have in order to get the remedy that's going to work for you, right?
Yes. So if you are one of those patients with a chronic remedy, so a remedy that you use on a daily basis, taking a dose of that remedy would also alleviate the headache
True.
in most cases.
Yeah, unless something else kind of got it started, I think. If it's not part of your usual
Mm-hmm.
symptoms, then you might need to go outside your own usual remedy to find something that'll take care of it, anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which I'm going to do belladonna tonight and gluninum. Which
Mm-hmm.
ones are you going to talk about tonight?
So I'm gonna do Natmir and Bryonia.
Right. So, four really good remedies. And like I said, there's thousands of remedies you could use for a headache. And this is why going to a homeopath makes a whole lot of sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could go into any store and pick out a headache remedy and take it and go, oh, this doesn't work, because it's not geared to your
Yeah.
symptoms in particular. It just may not work, right? Which is why going to Andrew or myself, seeing one of us, we would be able to, with your symptoms, pick up the remedy that's closest to the one of the principles of homeopathy, which is likes cures likes.
Yeah.
So like symptoms cures like symptoms.
Well, headaches are also the easiest thing I've had to cure so far. Anyone that's come in with migraines have come out without them. So even with a long list of other symptoms, the migraines are usually the first thing to go.
I agree. And when you have the right remedy, you're not waiting for days or even hours for you to see the effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Homeopathy, if choose the right remedy, you can in minutes feel the headache subsiding, which I love that. And it's all natural, so that's even better, right?
Well, it's migraines, it also depends on how long they've been experiencing the migraine, because if the symptom is chronic enough, it might take longer to heal than someone else who comes in who's been having migraines for 2 months.
Right. Well, because they're looking at maybe a deeper cause to those
Mm-hmm.
migraines too that they've been hanging around, right?
Yeah.
So let's go in alphabetical order, just because we're studious, you
Uh,
and I. I'm going to start with belladonna.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, so belladonna can actually be taken for migraines. And the head pain often starts in the occiput. I
Mm-hmm.
always say it wrong. And to the right of the temple and settle above the right eye.
Mm-hmm.
The headaches are usually between 3 in the afternoon and 11 o'clock at night and peaking at 3 p.m. There are 3 or 11 a.m., 3 p.m. or 11 a.m. headaches. And they're aggravated by light, noise, jarring motion, the sun, menses, heat, washing your hair. And it's helped these kind of headaches when their homeopathic says to you what makes it better. The things that do make it better for belladonna to be one of the choices is cold applications, lying in the dark, pressure from binding the head, so tying your head
Mm-hmm.
up. And usually the pains are very severe and pounding and pulsating.
Yep.
Um, so it can be quite extreme, sounds like to me, right?
Yes.
So then this is the type of headache that you would prescribe belladonna.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to move to, and what would you typically prescribe the dosage as?
If it's not their chronic remedy, probably along the 30s or maybe 12, something low.
Something low for the
Yeah,
physical symptom of itself, yeah. If there's
because
nothing else attached to it.
and belladonna is also has that weird keynote that it's worse from a haircut.
Worse from a haircut. The
Yes.
headache.
So when you
The
get a
headache's worse
headache,
from
if you get a headache every time you go get a haircut, that's belladonna.
Wow. That's pretty telling, isn't it?
It's one of those weird little symptoms that are just so fun.
Yeah. So it's almost like, do you think there's any other remedies out there that would have that same
Most
symptom?
most likely there'd be a couple, but it's just something so out there in left field.
Yeah. That you would definitely pick belladonna for it. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one was in order bryonia.
Yeah. So bryonia is worst jarring sensations. A sensation of everything being pressed out of the forehead. Uh, could be better motion. Thirst for cold drinks, but may not if sick with a headache. May get headaches from constipation. Better cold and wet seasons, and it's
Yes.
usually around the forehead.
Okay.
Uh, Contents of the head will burst through, so there's a lot of bursting pain, usually from inside to outside. Headache comes on after eyes first open in the morning. Um, One of my teachers had a case that that was their key symptom. So when they woke up in the morning, they'd wake up with the headache. But when they were asleep, they're like totally fine. It's just that first eye opening.
Wow.
So they just want to play with their eyes closed when they wake up. Oh,
um, yeah. So bryonia is used. Bryonia is used a lot for
yeah.
a lot of different other reasons too, right? Like it's quite one of those remedies you hear of often enough.
It's a polycrest. Of course it is.
Yeah. So it's got a multitude of reasons for taking it.
Yeah.
Well, the next one is going to be aglaonine, which is the one that I have used in the past with success.
Mm-hmm.
It's also used for migraines, and so I gave it to somebody. I gave them a higher dose, of 200 because it's very, very chronic. and a water dose like every 15 minutes because it was just so extreme, like beyond extreme. Uh, so it was pulsating, bursting headaches, worse from the sun. Headaches are accompanied by injection of the sclera or by flushed face. Headaches are worse from alcoholic drinks. I imagine that's going to be like the holidays coming soon. Worse from motion, worse from jarring, worse from heat and tight collars. Headaches are better from external pressure and lying in the dark. But I remember this particular person that I gave this to, it was just so severe that it consumed them. They weren't able to do anything else. And it took off, and the Glenina really made a difference. It didn't take it away completely, but it took it away enough that the person could function. So that was good.
Yeah. And that's, again, another polycrest. There's a lot to that remedy, too.
Yeah. And then the fourth one we were going to talk about was Natmure. So Natrum muriaticum is the full name of that one.
Yes. It's quite a mouthful.
Yes, absolutely. Well known, well used for many, many reasons.
Okay, so one of the more notable headaches for Natmure would be headaches from the sun, excessive salt use, and it's affected by anger and grief. The headache would be worse as the sun comes up and get better as the sun goes down. It's usually worse between 10 and 11 a.m. Now, this depends on the season as well. Headaches that go from one side to the other side. Pain that's referred to as a maddening headache. Very thirsty through the headache, and they have this zigzag aura before the eyes during the headache. So they might get those little zigzags, get a complete loss of vision before the headache, and then the zigzags or the vision would come back as the headache comes on.
Okay.
So
also, it says that the headache is like hammers beating the head.
Yeah.
And also headache in schoolgirls, which is one of those dominant symptoms. So headache in schoolgirls.
I don't know. It's because this is such a feminine remedy.
Yeah.
I'm not as open to giving it to somebody who's not already taking it. Except
interesting.
They have that something like really drawing to it. So if there's two remedies that are very similar, I wouldn't go with Natmure if the schoolgirls is the only symptom saying
yeah. I hear you.
Like if they describe their headache as a maddening headache, maybe, or the vision loss, or having something to do with thirst or sun, I'm more likely to pick Natmure.
They're also indicating that there could be some, I don't know if you said this, numbness in the lips or face before the headache. Sometimes even in the extremities, you'll get the numbness before the headache. So a little bit of like an aura or telltale sign that it's coming on type of thing.
Yeah, Natmure has a lot of auras and telltale signs.
Yeah. So those are 4 really, really good remedies. Obviously, like I said, there's thousands of others for headaches. But I know Andrew and I do other services that would help headaches just as well. One is Reiki. And I find Reiki happens, well, what can I say this? Is that just a block in energy happening to be in your head. So I find it, I get it often after a Reiki treatment, to be honest with you. And then I have to do some distance Reiki or some self Reiki to move it on, like move that block onwards. But Reiki is a really great resource to use as well to
That's
complement.
weird. Because I get the opposite. If I had a headache before the session, it goes away after.
Yeah.
Even if I'm doing somebody else's session, it would go away.
Well, mine tends to come on, and I think it's just because their energy's moved, but then I got stuck. And it gets lots of things get stuck in my head, Andrew. You know what I mean? So that's what happens. It just gets stuck in my head. Yeah, and then, but then, half an hour later, I can work it out myself, or have somebody do long distance and then just smooth it. Because sometimes it almost feels like the energy field wasn't cleared completely, right? Like it's moving itself out, but then it gets stuck, right? And so then I have to rely on just going back in a second time and taking care of that. What else would you use for a headache that's a treatment?
So, again, you can use certain teas for headaches as well. So the more well-known ones are chamomile, peppermint, turmeric, and lavender. I'm actually drinking a peppermint lavender tea, I think with chamomile. So this tea would be good for headaches.
Did you have a headache starting this show?
No.
Oh. The other common resource you could go to is a peppermint essential oil. I've actually placed it on my temples, my wrists, and just under my nose, and I find that can relieve the headache relatively quickly.
That's good.
Yeah. Meditating, obviously, or going for a walk. Also very, very useful. Usual. Staying away from caffeine, believe it or not, it can give you headaches. Right?
It can both give and alleviate headaches. So caffeine is very tricky. So for someone already addicted to it, if they haven't had it.
Reduce your intake and then figure it out if it's the coffee or not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else can you do to relieve headaches?
Well, I know there's crystal healing. The top 4 that I remember are moonstone. Hematite is one of the oldest stones used for headaches. Aventurine, selenite, and citrine.
Okay.
And clear quartz again. Clear quartz is basically used in almost every mental
issue. Yeah. I do a lot of chakra balancing as well, and I find that just kind of putting your energy vortex back into alignment can make a really big difference for people. I haven't tried this, but I'm sure yoga would probably help.
You tapping yoga? Helps. Oh.
Yeah, like
kind of forgot all about tapping. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that too. Body Talk. It used to be the company was called Body Talk, the one I went to anyways. So tapping was good.
They used to have a special on TV.
There used to be one?
Yeah, it was like a 20-minute segment.
On Body Talk?
Yeah. It was, It's old.
That's cool.
That just shows my age.
Oh, really? Give me a break. I've done cranial sacral treatments too. Have you ever had one of those done?
No. What are those?
Those are pretty cool. It's similar to Reiki. It's a movement of energy between your cranium and your sacral. Obviously, there's just like that. And I'm not an expert, so I'm gonna butcher that whole thing. But I was at one point in my life where I tried almost every natural remedy or therapy out there, and that was one of them. And I got some good relief from that. I like that. You should try it someday. There might be some practitioners in the community. I do have a friend that lives in Athens. Her name is Tammy. Her company is called Grounded Reflexology, giving her a boost here. She does reflexology.
Oh.
And it's really amazing how your feet are connected to different parts of your body. And depending where she's at, I actually know which organ or part of my body she's working on while she's working on my feet. It's the coolest thing ever.
That is cool. I used to see that a lot in Toronto when I was going to
Oh
school.
yeah,
Yeah, those little sandwich signs all over the street.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you've ever walked
Um,
from Union Station to Queens,
yeah. I lived in Toronto forever.
oh my god.
Went to Ryerson.
Oh,
Hated it. But nevertheless, to
I
that.
don't
That
I
was like
don't
40 years
envy
ago.
anyone living there.
No.
Too crowded.
The other thing that really helps with headaches, I think sometimes this is my philosophy on
Hmm.
symptoms, is that I think the majority of our symptoms are generated from a mental issue, not a disease or a mental health issue,
Hmm.
but a mental or emotional situation. Where you can be stressed or feel anxious about something. And I think then it can trigger headaches because we're too much in our heads too
Hmm.
often. And I think then what's really important is to either, get a therapist, counselor, life coach, and talk these things through so that you can get it out of your head and release that headache. So that's another really good resource to try out.
Yeah, that's also part of a homeopathic session as well.
Yes,
Having someone
homeopathy.
to talk to.
It's really interesting with homeopathy, right? Like
Yeah.
the initial session is like 2 hours long, and the client talks for the whole 2 hours. And when
Yes.
we try to compare that with a family doctor, you got 5 minutes, spit it out, right? Right. Whereas a homeopathist will sit there for hours to listen to somebody talk.
And they'll have like these pre-done scratch books for you. Here, take this. Take this one or this
Yeah.
one. Which one are you taking today? Sorry.
I mean, let's face it. We're not here to put down family doctors
Hmm.
or medical doctors because they play an important role in the community. But
Huge
that
role.
is one of the differences in between a homeopath and a medical doctor is
Hmm.
that we do have a very long period of time with each one of our appointments,
Hmm.
and that gives us the opportunity to find out more and more about the client. Um, and since we do prescribe remedies, just not drugs, with good results.
Yeah, huge results.
Yeah. What else to prevent headaches or to manage headaches?
Okay, now this one is either helps or completely backfires. So it's singing bowls. So I've had those actually help with headaches and make them worse.
It depends on the frequency of them. I've had them as well. So you have to play with the frequencies to
Hmm.
find the one that actually works for you. And actually, I'm going to look this up while we're talking, a particular frequency for headaches. If you actually play it, it will relieve the headache.
Yes, and that's the one that I'm talking about. It's very hit and miss.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a few people that it's actually made their headaches or migraines worse, and some that it makes it better.
It
Um,
says 160 hertz.
mhm.
160 hertz is the help your headache
Oh, I thought you were
frequency.
gonna play it.
No, I'm not going to play it. I mean, I could, I guess. Wonder what that's like. Maybe I will play it. Let's see if I can find it. No, if I do, I'm worried about somebody chatting away in our ear.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
We
so
don't need ads.
sound therapy is really, really good
Hmm.
as well. Which
Yeah.
obviously the frequencies can be in there. Um,
There's definitely a lot out there, and you gotta try them to see which ones work for
yeah,
you. Uh,
exactly. I would think most people experience a headache. I don't know. I was going to make a comment, but I don't really know. Um, I get headaches from somebody wearing perfume or cologne, right?
hmm.
So I can get triggered pretty quickly. But some people have them every day.
Yeah. Well, in my theory is a headache is the first response to telling your body that something is wrong. If you ignore it long enough, it either becomes worse or something else.
I hear you.
It's better if it doesn't become something else, because something else is worse than it actually becoming worse.
Yeah, probably. True. All right. Well, that was great. 4 solid good remedies for headaches and a lot of different other natural therapies to try as well. What are we talking about next time we're on the show here?
I think we have the unpleasant topic of bloating and digestive issues.
Oh, big topic for people.
Fun topic for people.
Yes, a smelly topic for people sometimes. So we're going to be doing this in a couple of weeks. So I guess we're looking at December 15th.
Yep. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels and on Facebook.
I'm Charleston Lake Apothecary on Facebook and YouTube.
You'll find a link in the description. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
That was fun, Andrew. I like that one.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.